Guys, welcome back to the Evan Plays channel. In today's video, I'm going to be making a tutorial on a bamboo farm slash super smelter slash XP grinder. Well, not really a grinder, but more of a farm as well. So the way it works is it's a flying machine based bamboo farm that feeds into hoppers, well, minecart hoppers that feed into hoppers into a super smelter, and then since bamboo can be used as a fuel when you cook things or smelt things now, you when you take a bunch of items out of the super smelter at once, well, not out of the super smelter, out of a single furnace, you get a bunch of XP if you have enough stored up in the furnace. But yeah, let's get on with this tutorial. Alright guys, so what you're gonna need for this project is in this box. You're gonna need I would say probably in this video I might only use, I guess, six minecart hoppers, and then however long you want to make the track. Well, it's really based on this, but you only need a couple of those, and you'll need mainly these powered rails. You'll need an observer, two observers, two sticky pistons, and however wide you make your farm, you'll need pretty much that many slime blocks. This is all for the flying machine. And then the dirt and the bamboo is for what the bamboo is planted on for the actual farm itself. The glass I'm just going to use as a border block. Obviously, I didn't count all these items up because it's a pretty resource intensive project, so there'd be a lot of counting to do, especially with hoppers. So you're going to want to make sure you have a lot of iron. And I actually made an iron farm video. If you want to check that out, I'll put a link in the description so you can go watch that video so you can get a lot of iron to make all these hoppers. And this stuff down here is for the super smelter, so you'll need obviously furnaces, and then all these redstone bits and pieces, and then the chest to store everything at the end. But yeah, if I take all this stuff, I think I'm gonna separate the video into little chunks. So what I'm gonna do first is everything for the minecarts and the whole collection system for the actual farm itself, and then from there I won't build the flying machine. I'll build the super smelter, because this is gonna be, or actually I'll do the super smelter first, then the minecarts and everything, because those are gonna be feeding into the super smelter. And then from there I'll do the flying machine and the bamboo farm and everything like that. But yeah, let's get on with the super smelter. Alright guys, I'm going to start with the double chest where the items are going to be coming out after they're done smelting. And then I'm just going to feed, I think I'll do 12 furnaces, so I'll feed, let's say 13 hoppers in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm gonna try to make this as neat as possible so that it'll look good if you have it in like your base or whatever, but I don't suggest this as being like a base project. I would suggest making this elsewhere where you don't have to have everything look pretty. But so that's the simple part. But now is well, it's not too hard, it's just repetitive. So this is gonna be where these are gonna be where all the items that you're smelting are going to go in. They have to go into the front of the furnace. So if you just place a bunch of hoppers like that, and then you actually have to go up one also, and just put them all facing down. So this is just because oh, actually I did this wrong, sorry. You have to put them all facing into one end hopper. So I'll fix that one later, but that one at the end. But right now you just have to put them all like this so that they can go across. And the reason this is a super smelter and not just, I don't know, a normal smelter, I guess, why this one is super and extraordinary, is because the items spread out evenly and get the maximum efficiency for smelting, so you'll get the fastest possible rates out of these furnaces. And you have to use furnaces because even in the 1.14 update, when they have all the different types of furnaces now, you still have to use furnaces, because if you're smelting a whole bunch of things, then you'll need the variety that the furnace has. But if you're smelting like just food, you can probably use, I actually forget what it's called. It's not in here yet. This isn't updated yet, but I forget what it's called, but there's a certain like furnace type that you can use for that. And so right now, I'm not going to do the actual fuel part, like where the bamboo goes in now, because it's the same as this. but I'm just gonna do the redstone and everything, and then just copy it just up on top of the furnace instead. So what this is gonna be is it's pretty simple. It's just so when an item gets down to this hopper, this comparator is gonna tell all these torches that I'm gonna put up to unpower, because the torches are it's gonna keep the items in here, and then when they all get unpowered at once, they all drop down the even amount. So if I just have to do it like this, and then just torches right there. Don't need that one. And that's why I only made this 12 long. You can make it longer. I wouldn't suggest going higher than 15, because that's how actually a little bit less than that, probably about 13. So I pretty much went as far as I possibly could by just doing this, because the redstone won't go any further. There's obviously ways to make it longer, but it takes a lot more work than just this. So now that this redstone is completed, I'm gonna go ahead and do it on top with where the fuel will be going in. Alright guys, I actually realized a mistake I made on this first one. I fixed it on the second one obviously, but so what I did was I put these blocks one too high, so the redstone torches have to be next to the bottom hoppers. Everything else is right though. Oh, actually, it's not really like a huge mistake, but this is actually the fuel side. So this is the side that fuel goes in. It goes in the front of the furnace, and this goes in the top of the furnace. So what I'm gonna do now is put a chest. Actually, hold on. Let me put a chest on top of these hoppers. So it's obviously not high tech, this part, but this is where your food is gonna go in and everything, and this is where well, this is where the what is it? Oh, bamboo. Oh, sorry, had a little brain fart there. This is where the bamboo is gonna go in. So what I'm gonna do now is bring a hopper line over to there. Obviously you don't have to use this many hoppers, but this is just gonna be easier for me to do if I just move a hopper line over there and then build the farm over that way. You could do it with water streams if you're in survival though, but since I'm in creative, I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't do this. But yeah, I'll cut back to you when I'm starting on the minecart rails and everything, when I'm starting on the actual redstone of the bamboo farm. Alright guys, so I'm in the process of figuring out how I'm gonna do the unloading stations for the minecarts, because a lot of these things work differently in PlayStation than they do on Java or even Pocket Edition. So I got this basic layout right here if you wanted to copy this. I wouldn't do it yet, and if there's something wrong I'll fix it later in the video, but right now this is what I come up with. I think what I have to do is take a comparator output from these hoppers, or maybe not. I'm trying to, maybe I might have to make this all one higher and do it like that, maybe? I don't know. I'll have to figure out some way to have these minecarts just come up here, and I really don't know, but I'm gonna work this out, and when I find a solution I'll come back to you. Okay, this is what I've come up with. I'm actually pretty proud of myself. I did this with pretty much no inspiration. I mean, I've seen videos about them before, but this is pretty good. This is pretty good for a first try. I've never like built one from scratch, or at least just from my head. So let me show you how this works. If I put that chicken in there, that'll go down, and it stops there. And this comparator is telling other stuff in this hopper, which is unpowering these rails. I stopped this hopper here so they wouldn't go into the furnaces. And you can see the minecart is emptying, and when it's fully empty, shoots back up to the top and goes back to collect more bamboo. I'm gonna make a switch to have these turn off, and I think it's just gonna be pretty easy. All I have to do is power that torch, and these rails will stay off. I won't do it like that. It'll probably be something like this instead. I don't have a line of redstone going through it and whatnot, but I'll figure that at the very end, if at all, because it's not really necessary for now. And what I'm gonna try to do now is, well, not try, I'm gonna actually put this on all of the hoppers and make the farm like make the whole minecart thing for the entire farm right now, and then I'll see you after that. Alright, I did the layout for the entire thing. The farm itself is only going to be, this is 15 blocks. The actual dirt isn't going to start here, it's going to start there. So if you want to copy this or pause the video now, this is the whole layout. It's pretty simple, just redstone blocks down the middle to power all the rails. And then this, very simple as well. You've already seen it earlier in the video. I just did the same thing for all of the hoppers. This design is also tileable, which I didn't necessarily try to do in the beginning, but I guess it should have been probably my main objective. But it ended up being that way, so now all these work. So what I'm gonna do is, right now, I think, so you know what, I was talking about how this line wasn't important, this line of redstone that I'm gonna do for these torches to turn them off and turn the whole thing off. I'm gonna do that right now so that I can keep the minecarts down here and not have them running while I'm building the actual farm. So I'm gonna do that real quick, and then I'll catch up with you when I'm doing the actual farm and starting on the flying machine and all that stuff. Alright, so I decided to skip putting this part in the video because it's pretty simple. I just put this dirt platform down over all the rails. Again, I stopped at this rail. I didn't put one here just so that I didn't interfere with the minecarts in any way. Obviously it wouldn't if I put it there, but just to be 100%, 110% sure, I put nothing there. And what I'm gonna do now is make a glass barrier. I'm just gonna do it on the outside for now because I don't want to mess with the flying machines. But what this is gonna do is keep all the bamboo from flying out of the sides. So for right now, this is all I have to do is just put it on the sides, and I'm gonna make it 16 blocks tall because that's how high the bamboo can grow. So I'm gonna do that on both sides, and then I'll come back when I figured out how to do the flying machine and how I'm gonna actually like set it up in this area here. Alright guys, so I know I said I was gonna do 16 high on each side, but for time's sake and for people in survival, they won't be able to do that. Or I mean, they will, but it'll take a lot of glass and sand, and I just think this is enough. I made it 10 blocks high, which is definitely enough for because if this is gonna be running often, it's never gonna have the chance to grow up to 16 blocks. I'm thinking it grows really fast, but I think after, if you only had this thing going like every 10 minutes, it would still only be maybe like 8 blocks high. So it grows really fast, like up to 4, and then it slows down pretty quick. Slows down quick. Like it slows down pretty quick and stops growing before it reaches that high. So I think this is enough. So right now I'm going to show you how this flying machine works. So I'm going to come up to the second level here. I actually have to go back a couple blocks. And then what happens is, so there's slime blocks here. You can actually put a glass block on the end. I don't know if this is centered. It's not. Let me just do this. So you can see I'm putting slime blocks here. And then this one's gonna be one further, so those are gonna be right there. Oh, so I actually have to back this up 2 blocks. So this flying machine is pretty simple. It's really like the most simple flying machine you could have on a PS4. So what happens is, oh, it doesn't look like that. It's a sticky piston, a slime block, and then an observer with its face out. And then I'm just gonna bring these over, and I'm putting glass on the end so that it doesn't touch the sides and bring the glass along with it. And then, oh, actually, I can bring this forward 1 block. My bad. So I'm gonna move this whole thing forward 1. Pretty simple, you know. And then so I have to do that thing again with the face. Or maybe I'm still thinking if I should move it back or not. All right, 1 second. Let me figure this out. All right, so that took a lot of trial and error. A little bit more than it probably should have been. It's a little bit embarrassing, but So I finally got it. I set up this obsidian to stop it, but you can see I left this observer open. I'm gonna do some redstone that'll have this send the flying machine back over to that side, which is where I started. So if you look at this, flying machine works perfectly, and then it's the same thing over here. I have to make the redstone to accompany this so that it'll keep going back and forth, and then I'll have a lever to switch it off. But so I probably should have shown some of this on camera, but for those of you that can just now see it, which is everybody watching, I guess, you can see it's the same thing forward and backwards. It's an observer with the face facing out, a slime block, and then a sticky piston facing with the face on the slime block. And then this can go out as far as, I think it's probably 8 blocks, and then the glass block, because it has to do, let's see, 1, 2, so this can actually go out 9 blocks, and then the glass block, or 10 slime blocks. And then it's the same on this side. It's the observer facing out, the slime block, and then the piston with the face facing the slime block. So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the redstone for this, and I'll actually show you that right now. Let me just get some of my stuff together. Alright, I got some of my stuff together, and right now I'm trying to figure out what the best plan would be for how to tell this thing to go back. And right now I'm thinking is just an observer with some redstone running off of it. Probably a repeater, probably actually a couple repeaters, just so that, sounds kind of weird, but so that I can catch its breath, I guess, so that the flying machine doesn't break itself by going too fast after it just finished doing its round, basically. So yeah, what I'll do is that. Alright, and then so I think this should work. Just put that there, make it look cooler. That's really it. So yeah, that looked like it worked. Oh shoot. So if I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, but I don't have to show you that on camera. So if I just bring this back, let's see if it works. The flying machine is still working perfectly, by the way. Yep, look at that. Looks like a charm. I think that's enough delay too. I don't see anything wrong with that. Maybe a little bit more. I'll put another 4 ticks on there. So yeah, let's see if this works, and then I'll do the same thing on this side. Pretty simple stuff, but I figured I would show you just in case you wanted to do this in your own world, or if you just needed an idea or something. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then I'll have a lever. So basically what the lever would do is just, it would power this block, let's say, and then this wouldn't update when, so if I go over here and do this, it got a little worried there. I didn't hear the flying machine, so now it just won't update. It'll get here and nothing will happen. So that's what that would be for. But I'll set that up later. Right now I'm gonna do this on this side, and then I'll come back to you, and this will pretty much all be done. Okay, so I added another little thing that it's not totally necessary. These could be separate, but what I did to hook these up is I hooked up a piston with slime blocks going down to that redstone wire that I created earlier to send the minecarts off and keep them there like they are now. So now whenever this observer gets updated, it'll send an update to this, which will power that, sending the minecarts off to do their first collection. So one problem that I couldn't really figure out a way to solve is that when this leaves, these go off once and then they come back down and stay there. But it works perfectly when it comes back and it hits that. If that lever is turned off, they'll just go once and then come back. Well, either way actually, because the delay is too fast for them to be back in time for it to shoot them off again. But here, I'll actually show you them in action. So if I set that thing off, you'll see those go off, and then they come back, and then when this flying machine comes back, they shoot off one more time. You can see they shoot off once, and then they come back, and they actually do go off again. I didn't realize that happened. So then if I power this, then when it comes back, it'll shoot them off one more time to collect all the bamboo they just did, or that they just broke, and then they'll come back and sort everything into here. So this is pretty much complete. Yeah, that looks like it's about it. So I think it's about time we gave this thing a proper test. And to do that, I just have to link up these hoppers, and then obviously I have to plant everything. Let me just clear out this inventory, and then I'll come back to you when I'm done planting everything, and then I'll do the first experiment. So these actually grow kind of weird. You can see they're all over the block. They're not just in the center like sugarcane or pretty much any other plant. And you can see I just finished and already these are growing. So yeah, I mean, all I have to do now, I'm actually going to go in here and I'm gonna get some food. Let's just get a ton. And then I guess we can let this machine go. Let's, yeah, look at that. They already grow so fast. So hopefully not a lot of bamboo is shooting out here. You can see a little bit has already, but hopefully not too much. What if any goes over, what I might do is, I think I'm gonna do it either way. I'm gonna come up here and put some of this down. Yeah, I'm gonna let this run for a little bit. Well, until I'm done this, and then I'll go over to the furnaces and see how much fuel we've gotten so far. Okay guys, I did just realize one problem with this update is I forgot about all the bugs. So this isn't a normal thing that should happen. It shouldn't break like this, but it did pretty soon on too, actually. I got a good amount of chicken, but it looks like, yeah, we're out of fuel. So bamboo actually does burn really quick, and you can see we're out of fuel already. But yeah, that kind of stinks. There's not really anything I can do to fix it. I just have to wait for Mojang to fix all the bugs that are in this, and I guess try to find a way to make it more lag friendly. But I don't think I'm going to be able to do that in this video, because this is pretty much it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, and I'll answer as many as I can. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.